Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So we are looking in this video at the performance of blockchain game tokens or cryptocurrencies over the year 2023. So this is a list that I've been keeping for a while now. So it started in 2021, but basically at the start of it, every year I note down the price of these tokens. There's about 200-ish in total here. Some of them are dead now. But roughly 200 tokens from a good cross section of blockchain games. So obviously not everything, because there's thousands of games out there, but these are some of the sort of more high profile ones. And at the start of every year I just look at the price, and then obviously you can just do a simple comparison. So what we're looking at this year, or in this video, sorry, is the performance of the price of these tokens in 2023. In total, there are 192 tokens that I looked at in this analysis, and 55% of them went up in price in 2023. 45. So the other thing is 45% of the token price compared, from January 2023 to January 2024 went down. So it's roughly sort of 50-50. And maybe 2023 wasn't a great year. A bunch of stuff sort of went bust, and a lot of token prices actually went down quite considerably in the first 6 months of the year, or 9 months of the year. And then most things have rebounded since then, but not everything has sort of come back to where it was before. So we expect that with blockchain games. These are highly speculative, highly complex projects, and if they start losing, community and the token price starts dumping, then maybe they just go to zero in the end. But some of them don't, and I guess that's what's interesting. So what I've done here is I've looked at this is the best performing tokens, and this will be a mixture of sort of games and projects that we know quite a lot about and are fairly established, and also, as we sort of expect, and we'll definitely see this in 2024, a lot of projects that maybe I've never heard of, maybe you've never heard of, are going to do really well, and that may be because they're great projects and they're new, maybe because they're old projects that have got rebooted from people. It may just be they're doing sort of weird viral giveaways or play to earn stuff, or their token price just starts going up for no apparent reason, then everyone starts piling in. So there's lots of different reasons. The fact that a project's token price has gone up a lot doesn't mean it's a great project and the token price will stay high. Obviously in crypto we see a lot of boom and bust sort of trajectories on these sort of things, but it's worth just sort of looking at this sort of stuff, to get the raw data from that point of view. So interestingly enough, the top performing token was this one called Naka, or Naka, which is Nakamoto Games. Not projects I look at very much. It's sort of you can see sort of where it's done so well. Partly because it's sort of ridden the some of the big trends. So it seems to be a fairly project with a whole bunch of games attached to it. So it's not a single game. They're doing they're spanning sort of casual games. They're doing something in Unreal. They've done a lot of tie-ups with Saudi Arabian DAOs and guilds, that sort of stuff. So it's obviously good for finance. That was one of the big trends of 2023, money from the Gulf states. And also doing some stuff with the Telegram blockchain, which again is also coming to the fore. Animoca's piled into that, and a lot of stuff that people are expecting to happen with Telegram and the Ton blockchain. So we can sort of see they've probably played their cards well in terms of riding the trends. I don't play the games. I don't know anything about the games, so I don't know if there's anything solid really behind them. But almost 2,000% up. 1,871% increase. So you could have bought the token at 9 cents. And currently the price has probably gone up a bit, actually, because on the 2nd of January prices went up again today, but $1.75. So the people who piled into that, did very well out of it. Of course, with these sort of very high increasing tokens, they tend to be fairly small market caps. They tend to be quite illiquid, quite hard to trade them. So that's one of the reasons that they can perform really well, is because they're not like an Axie Infinity, which we'll look at later. And obviously, none of this stuff is investment advice. This is just looking at data, and definitely not saying you should pile into Naka. Certainly, if these tokens have done really well now, obviously you kind of think they might revert to the mean and do less well in 2024. So it's almost like a don't buy these ones sort of proposal. Crown is another interesting one. So 1,365% for that. That actually was launched in May last year, and that's actually the token for a It's actually a horse racing betting game. It's actually fairly sort of serious, established developer, made mobile games, doing sort of done some tie-ins with real world horse racing tracks and companies in America. So again, a solid sort of project. Don't know how mass market that's going to be, sort of betting on horses, but you can sort of buy horses, you can buy, you can breed them, you can have riders and all this sort of stuff. So it's an economy they're building out around some elements of real world horse racing and gambling and that sort of stuff. We have the World Token, which is actually now renamed Topia. So that's a sort of a version of doing Minecraft on the blockchain. That's a very interesting project. So those were the three that did over 1,000% this year in terms of their tokens. The World Token was very low previously because they were going to do stuff in Minecraft, and Minecraft banned NFTs and blockchain, so they had to sort of rebuild from scratch. Some more I guess big time is the of these games the sort of most serious, well-known sort of 3D proper blockchain game, I suppose. And that token started at 5 cents and is now almost 50 cents, so 848% increase there. Again, not a massive market cap. Senet is one of the tokens for the Sidious game. Again, proper serious game, been going for a while. They're trying to build that stuff out. G Swift, I think, is a DAO, a DO from another game called Decimated, and some other sort of these ones as well. So we have some performing of the tokens that performed really well in 2023. I say most of them were probably not well known by people. I guess the ones that would have been NFT Worlds and Big Time. They were sort of the better known sort of projects that you would have maybe thought at the start of the year would have done well. What we could do is have a look here. So the average was like 93%. If we look down at all the ones that did well, they did 93%. But if we look back here, if I actually have to fiddle around with this, if we look back at sort of some of the better known projects. So if my macros line up here, no. So if we, yes, that's right. So this is sort of roughly the market cap of the position in crypto, in the overall crypto sector of these projects. So these ones here are the bigger projects. These are in the top 200 of all cryptos. So how have they performed? Actually performed pretty well. So the top one at the moment is IMX Immutable, the Immutable token, and that's number 35 out of the top out of the top cryptos, and that did 455% last year. So started the year off at 40 cents and ended the year at $2.24. So with a lot of these tokens, they didn't do much for the first 9 months, and then the last sort of 2 months did a lot. Really popped. So IMX did really well. We have Sand up 50%. The AXS token from Axie did 43%. So those are you can almost think these are underperforming for various reasons probably. If you look at the sort of the big cap ones, what did really well? Well, IMX did WeMix, so the blockchain gaming platform from South Korean company WeMade, top 100 crypto, and did almost 651%. That was very well. Beam did very well. Actually, Beam's sort of complicated because Beam was actually the Merit Circle token that got renamed as Beam, and so they sort of created a new token. So it actually did better than that. The Merit Circle token did 500%, but and that really should be seen as Beam. So really, maybe I should make that 83 as well. So that was a top performer. What else have we got? The RON token again, in particular. So the RON token, the token for the Ronin blockchain from Sky Mavis, 561% increase, and some other ones that are sort of more I think the ones that tended to do well are ones that are known outside of blockchain gaming as blockchain gaming projects. So I think people just in crypto have heard of Immutable, they've heard of Sandbox, they've heard of Axie Infinity, and now hearing of the Ronin blockchain. Things like Prime and Magic are sort of known within blockchain gaming, and did okay. I mean, they increased over 100%, so it's not nothing. Illuvium, again, another sort of game that has been fairly hyped, but not so much this year. Last year, These have all done okay, but they've not done like 500 sort of percent that you had this sort of very, very large input of sort of money from, I would say, non-blockchain gaming, sort of people who are interested in blockchain gaming. And there's been lots of talk about blockchain gaming being a big trend in 2024. So I think that's why you're seeing stuff like Immutable and Ron particularly pick up. Ron, obviously, the Ronin blockchain launched the Pixels game. The Pixels game has done really well, over 100,000 daily active unique wallets. Its token hasn't done very well at all, actually, but the Ron token seems to have picked up that sort of interest. And I think it's interesting with these sort of blockchain platforms like Immutable and Ronin. Will the games be the ones that do really well, or will the underlying tokens? Well, at the moment, the underlying tokens of the blockchains are doing well. I guess that may change in 2024 if we have some sort of hit games, and certainly if things like Pixels start doing 200,000, 300,000 daily active unique wallets, then their tokens will probably do okay. Interesting to note that Ape. So ApeCoin, part of Yuga Labs sort of ecosystem, has really struggled. So actually down last year in 2023 by 56%, actually down 80% since it was first being tracked by CoinGecko. So that's sort of struggling a little bit. It's not a gaming coin per se, although people are trying to work out sort of a utility for it. No one quite knows what the ApeCoin is for at the moment. We have to wait maybe till Yuga sort of build out some of their metaverse stuff. But that was sort of the top of the top 200 ones in this box. That was the only one that went down, and went down sort of quite a lot. So we can have a look at. Have I got this here? So what did well in 2022 in comparison? Maybe worth having a quick look at. So not a lot. So the only two cryptos gaming cryptos did well, and Stepan was the one that did really well. Stepan this year, not so great. 44%. It's not nothing, I suppose. We can have a look at since the start of CoinGecko tracking these apps, who's done the best. I put ETH in there as a comparison. So interesting there that ETH, obviously that's the second biggest crypto, so that's done phenomenally well. Almost 78,000% increase, and 91% in year 2023, and that was seen as an underperformance. But other than that, the ones that have done really well are Axie, Mana from Decentraland, Gala, which actually did okay last year, despite its various problems. Magic's done well, Engine. So these are the ones that have been around for a while. Interestingly, that Crown has actually done really well because it sort of started in 2023, so it timed that sort of stuff right. And WeMix has done 1,000% as well. So some of these well-known projects, you have to look a bit more in the long term to see what's going on with them. Then if we see what these ones, so obviously some of these going to zero, so any of these that we can look at to see. In 2023 was just for a lot of these projects was a difficult year. And the token price got really hammered. For a lot of projects, token price sort of dipped to its lowest ever in sort of the summer. So in the last couple of months, they've been coming back from all-time lows. So as I say, 45% of the projects we're tracking here actually underperformed, compared to, during the year. So not investment advice. We'll definitely be looking at what happens in the coming year. I think we'll see a lot more tokens being launched. So in 2023 wasn't a good time to launch tokens. So many companies didn't. They worried about security in the SEC, and obviously worried about market sentiment. Both of those have changed a bit during 2023. So we'd expect to see a whole bunch more tokens sort of coming in, and keep an eye on what they are doing. But obviously, just remember, these things are very, very volatile. They can go up a lot. They can go down a lot over very short periods of time. So these are not things you should be investing in. But interesting to see how the sector is developing. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you again soon.